Hey guys, it's Rissole here. So today I wanted to talk about Grief and how it's evolved over the 3-4 maps it's been, and whether it can keep going on like in the future, whether it will continue or not. So I'll talk about the first map, which is Town. Town, I think it did everything mainly right. It's a good solid starting map for it. Big enough room, perks. It's basically just a survival map, but they just added the 4x4 in it. But I think the biggest problem with it, and another thing you can really help, is people who are AFK. Now, because you've got that giant lava pool in the town, everyone's just knifing the people into the lava. And it's just like, there's not really much you can do except get a clan together or whatever, do some clan wars or whatever. But, you're playing online, someone on your team's AFK, they just knife them into the lava. And the annoying thing is when your teammates go down, or just when people go down and they actually die, it takes away a percentage of your points. So that can be very bad for you, especially if you've got multiple people who are AFK. Now you can revive them and get some points from them, but it's not something you can just keep doing, especially as the game gets on later. Now I don't really have much more to say about Town. I have played it, but I don't think it really has any outshining parts, parts that really stand out greatly, or any kind of bad parts for it. It's just the lag, AFK thing, but that's a problem with everything basically. So we'll do Farm now. Farm is basically just Town, except it's smaller. It doesn't have Pack-a-Punch, and I don't think Stamina Up or Tombstone is in there. I can't remember. I don't think so. But yeah, I think it's a solid map. I like it better than Town myself, just because I like smaller enclosed space for Grief. And there's also only one box location, so that's pretty good. The problem is though, I think it's more the glitch with it. Basically, you can stand on the rail. I think you can do this in just Transit as well. You stand on the rail of the stairs and you can jump up, and for a moment you have the option to open the box. So you don't even have to open up the farm doors, and I think you can just get in there, just get some guns right away, but it's not a big thing that detracts from it. Your main problem is just space and camping and kind of all that kind of stuff. It does get a bit hectic, and I do, with Town and Farm, I do like that they kind of have two sort of bases across from each other. You got the house for Farm and the barn on the other side, and then you've got, for Town, you've got the bar on one side, and then I think you have a house or general store or whatever on the other opposite side of it, which is pretty cool. I like that. And one thing I do think this does have over Town is that the lava cracks aren't too prominent. They're only around the house and by the side of it, but they're not around anywhere else really, which is pretty good. It does get annoying when you go, you jump off and you go over one and you go down or whatever, but it's not as bad as Town for me on that agenda. So next we'll move on to Cell Block. And honestly, I think Cell Block is the perfect Grief map. I think every map should be like it. I like that they didn't include Juggernog. Games go so much faster, it's a lot more tense, and they had PhD Flopper in it, so you can get Mustang and Sally and do all that kind of stuff, and it's so good. Playing that map, I had a newfound respect for Deadshot. After Double Tap, well actually no, it depends on where I am. I'll either get Deadshot or Double Tap as my first perk, because Deadshot is just it's really good when you cannot rely on getting hit and you need to kill them. Teamed up with Double Tap, it's great. Auto headshots, double killing power, 2 bullets, so yeah. But yeah, the big positive about that map was just no Juggernog. I'm so glad that they didn't have it. There's no EMPs in it, I don't think. Yeah, there's no EMPs. And that's not it was kind of cool to grief the other team, even though I hardly ever got them and I never really did it anyway. I thought it was a kind of a cool aspect to annoy the other team, but I did like that they weren't in here, because I didn't hate them, but I'm just not a big fan of them. So it was good that this map kind of relied more on skill than say Town or Farm. Yeah, it was really good to see that. And I did like the layout of it. I think most areas were kind of cramped and smallish, and I did like the box locations, how they moved in between. I'm just jealous that this wasn't turned into a survival map though. I don't know why they only kept survival maps for Transit and Green Run, but yeah, I really love Cell Block Grief, and if Grief maps do return in the future, I so hope they are modelled after that map. So the last one is Burrow? Yeah, Burrow. Oh, worst Grief map. I hardly even played it. I think at this time we were kind of all burnt out on Grief, but I think it was also mainly because Cell Block Grief was so good. But Burrow took 2 steps back, even more steps back than Town and fun. Like, they weren't the best, but they were like good at least. The problem is I don't know why, but they just thought, oh, okay, let's put in all the buildables, let's put in the paralyzer. Like, no, don't do that, because, okay, they brought back Juggernaut. It's like, no, don't, because I think one of Grief's biggest problems is some games can go on for a long time, like with the default maps. Cell Block, that goes for a short time, and I know I can play that for a while. I'm like, okay, this is going to kind of be a quick game, even though they can go for a long time, but I can kind of expect a quick game from there. But Burrow, no. All the buildables are pre-built, so that's not a bad thing, but the fact they're even in the map itself. The Paralyzer, only one person gets this, and it's not good for Grief. The map itself is really open, so it's an easy map itself, like Buried. And the areas you're only limited to, like, they're not that bad that, like, you're gonna die quick. Like, you can easily survive. So you put all those together, and you can easily just keep going for that map, and it can get so boring for a while. And problem with long games is, because we're fighting each other, there's 8 people, you have more of a chance of people leaving and getting bored. And also, I'm pretty sure this Grief map was the glitchiest one, like, because you had so many areas to like access for glitches. I think you had the combination of the Paralyzer, the Trample Steam, and I think with that map, the Pack-a-Punch, you can like glitch it out by going down in front of it, and then like your teammates can't even like Pack-a-Punch whatever. Point is, Burrow was a shitty Grief map, and such a letdown after Cell Block. So yeah, that's all 4 Grief maps. Do I think it'll return in Black Ops 3? Well, maybe. They haven't said anything about it like they did for Black Ops 2, but if it did appear, I'd be happy about it. I'd be okay. As long as they did it like Cell Block with no Juggernog and just kind of had to rely more on pure skill than like shitty tactics or whatever. And I do think it does have maybe a slight average 50% chance of getting in, because Shadows of Evil, I know people don't like to say it, but I think it's going to be kind of like Green Run in Transit, where they're going to have like, it's going to be like big city, and they're going to have like their own little sections, and they'll cut them off into their own survival maps, maybe include Grief and Turn with them or whatever. I don't know, but I think that could be just what happens, and yeah, I wouldn't be mad about it. Anyway guys, that's just my thoughts on Grief, and I will see you later. Cheers.